Hello, my name is Kyle Roger Gridley, and I am always wrong, love to fawn, and will soon be gone. It's Rose-Colored Classist, episode 62. It's episode 62, and I'm doing this just for you, baby. It's Wednesday. Government shut down. It's a low for the furry, right? It's a furlough. Everybody working in the government right now feels real dumb. Real dumb, man. When your lust for power is put on your brakes. What's going on here? No, the easy paychecks have taken a little stumble. Sorry, buddy. Whoever, gets into the government now, I don't know what I thought it was supposed to be like. Maybe you get in the government so you can help people. But that's not the truth. I ask government workers, why are you working in the government? They go, it's easy. Didn't really know what else to do. I just want a pension. I want to not do anything eventually, at least. That's the idea, right? A lot of these people get on these pension jobs, these big fucking get part of a big corporation. And so they eventually can stop working entirely. That's the idea. Is they just never want to do anything ever again. They want to work to a point when they're finally done. And, the whole mindset, it's just non-functional, fucked up. Not really how it all works. To think that you get a break, to think that you get to stop, it's ridiculous. Even in your old age, you should still be working. Your mind should still be working. You should still be thinking and pursuing. People think to themselves, yeah, I'm going to work this job. I'm going to get the pension, and then I'm going to relax. But that's not the truth. You're not going to relax. You're going to think about all the time you wasted. And that's not a relaxing thought. It's not a relaxing thought to realize, all the work you spent inside of the government was, helping some banker, billionaire fuck get rich for no fucking reason. You're helping people get fucked, have their votes mean nothing, fight against the interest you thought you were supporting. It's not as relaxing as you'd hope. And maybe the pension would be worth it, but I don't know if you looked at the numbers. But you're not even getting your money's worth. Actually, for some fucking reason, you put your money in the S&P 500 yourself, you'd actually do better than what a lot of these pensions are doing. A lot of these pensions, I'm so sorry, when they get put into the stock market, when they get put under management by some hedge fund, they're actually intentionally using that money to float their riskier bets. Okay, yes, money is always going to get put in the pension. Legally, has to be done. They're always going to get put more money in the pension. They're always going to get a cash flow. And so whenever a, wonderful, beautiful, magnificent, mutual financial institution gets a hold of your teacher, your fucking cop, firefighter pension, what they use it as this wonderful collateral. They use it as wonderful collateral so they can make their big crazy bets. And I'm so sorry. Yeah, man, the government's done. Government's out. Who knows what the fuck is going to happen to it? Is it ever going to come back? Yeah, you bet it will. Fucking it'll rise from the dead like a goddamn zombie. George Romero will fucking come out and the government will eat your brains. Whenever a government shutdown happens, it is a nice little dose of water on the witch. Throw a little bit of water on the witch and just watch her sizzle a little bit. But don't worry, it'll be over in a sitch, okay? The government shutdown at this point, it's going to come back, okay? And I know, all right, even when the government shuts down, we don't stop spending on the worst stuff, okay? The military don't take no break. CIA don't take no break of the money. They always going to get the money. It's all the other stuff, all right? They keep up the worst parts of it, and they shut down the things that are actually doing some marginal good, like healthcare. Maybe schooling. What else do? They do some other stuff. I don't know. HHS? The research. The scientific research. Yes, our tax money creating the most wonderful, beautiful, incredible inventions. We're like, the taxpayers, we're like the best scientists in the whole world. We create all the awesome, good medicines. And yet we're not able to profit off of it. They'll keep that part of the government working. The part where we're getting fucked, they'll keep that going. But what's ever going to happen in the interim? God bless you. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. A lot of terrible government programs are to continue, and a lot of nice government programs are going to stop. Okay, and when I say nice government programs, I mean they're still corrupt. They're still, horrible and awful and doing the wrong thing. But how it's corrupt is benefiting people I know. Right? Anyone have any friends getting a corrupt government contract? You feel for those guys at this time. You really feel for them. You're like, buddy, you worked so hard to swindle the United States government. I'm so sorry it's ending for you. If I had the courage, I would try and swindle the American government too, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been reading books about libertarianism, and it's really thrown me off of the path. But I mean, come on, it's sad. I just, if corruption's gonna happen, I just wish it was for people I know and like. Yeah, no, there's going to be some good people who have, been committing crimes lately, and that's sad. That's sad. A lot of good people committing crimes out there against the United States taxpayer, and they're not going to get theirs for a little while. It's sad. Yeah. I do just want to, at this moment, say that when you talk about whose fault the government shutdown is, there's going to be no one good to pick out of this. There's no one doing the perfect thing, okay? Yeah, a lot of people want to say the Democrats are the guys standing up for what's good here, and that's just not true. That's just not true. I mean, it's sad. It's sad to say that, whatever they are fighting for, some kind of marginal health care benefit, it is a corrupt setup. They're actually fighting for something that's corrupt and sad, and we probably should never have made it. I hate to say that, but it's true. Some people have been kept alive via a money laundering corrupt operation. And it's difficult. It's difficult. So I'd like to say, it'd be wonderful for the Democrats to support these things and to stand up for these things. And, I know Timmy, gets cancer and some Russian gets paid on the side. And that's fine, and I'm normally fine with that. But, when it comes down to defending it, if you do defend it, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if it's moral. The Democrats, they're so, it's just so over. It's just so over for them, and thinking that they're the good guys. You can say for the Republicans, they've at least been honest about how big of pieces of shit they are. I've played some comedy. There's tons of comedy out there about how the Republicans just tell you that they're fucking pieces of shit, and you know it. I did play that George Carlin a little bit earlier in the show's history, talking about how Bill Clinton was upfront about how much of a piece of shit he was. And that's just the thing. That's if the Democrats could turn around and just accept how shitty they are. They're like apologizing for how shitty they are. And that's not how you do it. You say, me being shitty is an asset. Yeah, be the asshole we need. Okay, pretending that you're some kind of moral organization, it's just crap at this point. It's just crap. You're not fighting for what's good. You're not fighting for democracy. You're fighting from your, position of power inside of whatever finagled fucking government this is. All right? Yes. Okay, look. Your main issues, abortion, being gay, socialism, at the end of the day, it's like, if anything, it's a compromise. It's not some kind of moral argument. It's just like, this is the best we can figure out what to do at the moment. Let bygones be bygones, as they say. And that's not a bad philosophy. A lot of people are on side of that philosophy. Just, everyone do as what you can at the time, and let's try not to be weird about it. At least when the government, the Republicans come into the government, they go and they fuck shit up. They're here to fuck shit up, Let's just go all the way to the end of this bipartisan totalitarianism. Let's go all the way. Let's stop lying and saying we're doing it because we like you. We're doing it because the whole government, everything, all the money. It's a real fucked up situation. So it's turned off. Little switch is flipped for a little minute. Sorry if you work for the government. My bad. Sorry, dude. Shoulda did what I did. Get your own businesses going. All right. email rose-colored classist. And if you are a furloughed government employee, I'm looking for a producer. If I could get a nice black lady producing my podcast, that'd be great. Everyone who works in the government that's getting furloughed is most likely going to be a black lady. And that's sad. Right on. I'm running a professional show here. It's a professional program. I do have to take care of some show business. I have to make some apologies. I do believe in apologizing. A lot of these media personalities out here, they refuse to apologize. Donnie T telling us not to say sorry at all to anybody, and I don't believe in that. Okay, so first, I would like to apologize to Charlie Kirk. Wait, he's dead. That's a waste of time. No, I'd like to apologize to Jimmy Kimmel. I keep confusing them. What's been going on lately? I'm sure, I've offended the Kirk family, I'm sure, at several points. And, if they were ever to hear my words, I'm that'd be an embarrassing moment for me. But that's not my community. The comedy community is my community. And I do want to sincerely apologize because Jimmy Kimmel, he came back and he crushed, all right? The big numbers. He got a lot of big numbers. I hated what he said. I thought it was boring and trite. But it performed well, and isn't that what's important? All right, all those eyeballs he got. Okay, yes, you could say that the eyeballs he got on his program were like, the president's eyeballs. Anybody who cares about the president probably watched Jimmy Kimmel because of all that stuff that was going on. All right, but he did good. The numbers were great. All right. Sure, I talked to all my comic friends, and none of them watch it. Talk to my comic friends all day. They don't watch the program at all. But the show's been doing really good on YouTube. And that's really all that matters. I don't care why. I don't care if they were bots. I don't care if they were foreign people. It's going... If your show has a good week on YouTube, I'll take everything back. I'm an idiot. I apologize. Okay? Yes, you get paid millions of dollars to be on network TV. I don't get it. Your staff gets paid. There's a lot of staff out there getting paid. I don't really think they get paid off of your YouTube performance, but I should stop worrying about that. Not my problem. Not worried about it. Good job, Jimmy. You had an incredible week on YouTube. Incredible week. No, really, you could see a whole world where they, restructure the show and get a nice YouTube business going. You could see it. I see the pathway. I see you're out. You can get out of this, man. Yeah, you get canned, you get fired, you get canceled. Come on, you can go on to YouTube. Not going to say where, Charlie's going to go. But, Jimmy, you're here. You're alive with us, and you get to fucking keep running it. You have a future, no matter what happens to you, bud. I'm sorry for everything. I'm so sorry to demean you. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. How do people suck up to Jimmy Kimmel? Can I do that? I'd love to feel like I could trust Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to just flail and fail all my morals. I'm trying to come down off my cloud. I was riding hot for a second. I was getting a little hot. The country was getting me a little hot. But now I've calmed down and I've realized what an incredible YouTube performer Jimmy Kimmel is. I'm so sorry. You got like 20 fucking mil. I think Charlie's Funeral still got more views, but that's what he was competing with, right? That's what that monologue was competing with? Yeah, going head-to-head, late-night talk shows. Right on. Yep. Right. I'm going to keep apologizing, actually. I do have to issue a retraction from a few 10, 20 episodes ago. It's again, more business, and I have to do it just to cover my bases, just to prove how honest and truthful I am, and keep the record straight, show how humble and willing I am to say I'm wrong. That's what's important in life right now. You got to admit you're wrong. People tell you that, right? People tell you all the day, admit you're an idiot. Just admit it. Yes. Everybody's wrong all the time. You're one of them. Say you're wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. So wrong. Yes. Here's the retraction. If you guys remember, there was a Olympic boxing athlete who won the gold medal in the women's boxing division, and she was accused of being a man. And then some stuff came out that she wasn't a man. And then some recent stuff, and when I say recent, I mean not that recent, because the show's running behind, you can tell. Some recent stuff came out that she's actually is a man. So, transphobia wins again. Fuck you guys. Fuck anybody who's ever talked about that issue. Things keep changing, guys. All right, the facts on the ground keep changing. Who killed Charlie Kirk? Probably it's going to follow the same track as this little trans boxing issue. It'll be this, it'll be that, it'll be up, it'll be down. Who knows? Don't know anything. What's up? You know what? They talk about this guy as he actually, as if he actually killed Charlie. And sure, yeah, hey, I'll believe it. Why not? Where's Candace Owens at? All right, I'll let Candace Owens speak for me when it comes to everything. So at this moment, I will just admit, Tyler, he killed him. He's the guy. And dating a trans person. Dating a trans person, what's that like? I'm on the dating sites right now, and I do pay for the dating site because that's the only way you can not match trans people. Okay, if you don't pay for your dating site, it's always trans. It's always every profile is a trans person. Every profile. You're like you're not admitting it. You're not admitting it. You're not admitting it. Why are you not admitting it? There's a lot of online dating profiles of trans people, and unless you pay, you're gonna keep seeing them. Okay, so I pay, and now I'm just looking at the women with pussies. Is that the right way to say that? I'm looking at the women with pussies, and man, what they say about themselves. I almost prefer the trans women. I'm at this point. What are they talking about? They go, I'm a leftist. Every girl's a leftist. I don't know. Does anyone know what that is? Does anyone know what that is? A leftist. I mean, from what I hear from Donnie T, he talks about leftists all the time, and I don't believe that guy for anything. So I don't even know what a leftist is. Am I supposed to look at what Matt Walsh says? Are these girls calling themselves what Matt Walsh calls them? I'm honestly confused. You call yourself a leftist, and I just don't know. You believe in communism? Say you're a communist. You like gay people? You are gay. Every woman is queer or bisexual, and I don't know if how true that is, where the line is on that one. Okay, if you can kiss a girl at a party, I probably think it's not even worth mentioning in your sexuality. Okay, how about in your sexuality you just say I get drunk sometimes? Is that fine? I don't know if it means a lot if you just kiss a girl at a party. If you would fuck a girl because a guy was there and you think guys like that, I wouldn't call that gay either. I'd call that pathetic and whorish. Is that what leftist means? This leftist means whorish. Is that right? Hey, and I don't want to insult you. I'm doing a comedy podcast. I doubt any women are even listening. If you're a woman listening to me, you're crazy. Okay? And here's that second part where they're always talking about this. They're always talking about banter. Women on these dating sites are always like, I'm into banter. Banter. You really believe that? You think women want banter? Banter to me is like, I contradict what you're saying for comedic effect. I take your feelings and I make fun of them sarcastically. And I say that, and it sounds to me like that's really a way to piss off a woman and have them hate you. Yeah, and maybe that's what women want. Women want men to hate them? No, I'm not right about that. I don't know, okay? I mean, if you're a leftist and you want banter, I don't believe you. I don't believe you want feedback on your beliefs. I don't. That seems crazy. I mean, gosh, what's banter between leftists, all right? Arguing about which member of the polycule is best at anal? This is crazy to me. All right? If you're bantering with someone, you're like sarcastically misinterpreting what they're saying to get a laugh. And I don't think a leftist would like that. I don't even know what a leftist is. Women on dating sites, what are you guys doing to me? It's so confusing. It's about whether we find each other hot, right? Is that what it is? Then what's all this other description? What's all this other stuff going on? This is my online dating hunk, my chunk. I've done stand up for 12 years. I've talked about online dating maybe 5 times up on stage, and it went about as well as it usually does. Anyway, I'm having a lot of personal trouble. I really am. I am so late to do this podcast. I'm so late. Okay, I've been doing this podcast for about 66 weeks. All right, I have 62 episodes. I have done about 3 hours extra of content, I think, in the hours. I think I'm about a week behind. Does anyone care? Does anyone care? No, I'm getting drawn away at all angles. I'm now producing a once a month comedy show till I get canned. My firing is incoming. I am producing a once a month comedy program with someone who's really in charge, and I have no actual power. And I feel bad. I feel bad for them being associated with me in any form. It is I get it's so crazy. I'm this person, right, who talks and acts the way he does, with my insane personal set of beliefs, and anybody who associates with me, I'm embarrassed for them. I'm embarrassed for them. I mean, it's so crazy. Like, I do great work. I'm good at what I do. All right, but I'm typically incoherent and moronic. Maybe I step up sometimes, and I can be in charge, and I'm not that bad. Okay, I was a real person. I was a manager in and out. I've been working at the clubs. I've been doing stand-up for 12 years. I know the things. I've been there. But then you talk to me, and I think I fall apart. I think it's really, really hard to trust an individual like me. And you see me out there in the world behaving, and, it's impossible to take me seriously. It's impossible. I have a lot of empathy. For people who deal with me, and I'd like to preemptively apologize. All right, you say, how can that guy work with Kyle? He's a clear moron. And it's like, yeah, I know. I told him I was a complete fucking idiot, and yet I'm still here. No, I mean, I've been there. I've been doing comedy for 12 years. I've worked in the clubs. I know what it means to be a comedy club owner. Okay, yes, we've all seen the clips of Joe Rogan saying nice things about comedy club owners. It's a difficult thing. And I have worked for some awesome and psychopathic venue owners. And I have a lot of experience. And I'm doing it again. I just started. And this guy, he's definitely both. He's awesome, a little crazy, little crazy. His show's great. And I'm trying to make it even better. He doesn't need me to make it good. It's already good. I couldn't fuck it up if I tried. So my point is, I'm being a lackey. I'm a good lackey. I'm a moronic fucking hunchback lackey. Okay. And I'm going to be doing that. So, obviously this podcast is what it is. Is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? It's going to get later. I'll tell you that shit. Got a lot on my plate. Got to be a lot more effective. I'm trying my best, okay? I'm gonna keep running it, and I am looking for my own lackey. Okay, I am a lackey. I've been a lackey. I know what it means to be a lackey. If I could have my own, we could start being really, really productive. Gotta run it. Keep trucking on it. This podcast is fun and exciting, but it makes no money. So, I need some help. Am I gonna put my information on for you to help me? Doubt it. I gotta find a whale. Where's the whale to float my Venmo? Get some fucking Saudi Arabian maniac to start funding me. Some lowly prince who didn't get enough from the Riyadh Comedy Festival start supporting me via Cash App. Okay, I don't even care. I mean, I talked about the Riyadh Comedy Festival, didn't I? I was really political. I was really topical too. Anyway, and then on top of it all, I'm working as a process server. Okay, I have a real day job. It's hard. It's real hard. Okay, and I'm doing morally terrible things. With the government shutting down, I think my job is actually going to be affected. The federal courts, anyway, and it's sad. I'm just, I'm serving nice people family court documents, and I'm an asshole for that. And it's a job for assholes, and I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm a piece of shit. trying to work it out, trying to live in the society, contribute how I can. Let's keep doing it. Yeah, man, the show I'm producing, it's going to be once a month at the end of the month. So at this time of the month, I'm going to be struggling a lot. It's going to be a big distraction. And if I keep on doing the pod this way, I don't know. It takes me forever to set this thing up. It takes me do you look at the screen right now? This takes forever. 10 hours at least. It's embarrassing. What can you do? And so again, while I'm talking about all my personal quirks, I'm not gonna share a comedy video today. I want to talk about something important. So I'm gonna take a little break. And then we'll get to it. All right, guys, we're back. I'm back. It's just me in here with my Dalmatian, who is refusing to appear on the pod. He will not participate while I'm yapping. Anyway, I did want to talk about this, the holiday season. It's October 1st tonight, and it begins. Okay, harvest. The harvest begins. Holidays coming up, a lot of events, a lot of parties. And I'm just going to say this right now, okay? Please, if you're hosting something, if you're going to something, don't be a dumb cunt and invite some sick fuck to your holiday run amok, okay? A lot of loons out there. And you ain't going to save anybody by inviting them to a party, okay? If you have a friend that you think is going to end up on some sloped roof, some fucking university roof, all right? Tell them that you think that and don't hang out with them, all right? Say to them, I feel uncomfortable around you. Please leave me alone. Get out, all right? Lock your doors. Keep the freaks out. The maniacs this holiday season, they are going to have fun. You can feel it coming. All right, the robbery is going to be high in number, the bang-bangs, the boom-booms, all right? We all have our public life where we make money, talk to strangers, take a risk, sure. But, get good security, all right? Try and filter the market at least. It's going to be madness this holiday season. You can't invite everybody to your shindig. Can't do it, all right? And your personal life, that is a whole other thing. Okay, hey, in your personal life, your friends, can you, for me, make sure that the people you have around you don't want to fucking kill you? Is that too much to ask? Women, talking to you, women, make sure the people around you don't want to kill you. Okay, can you do that this season? Can you do that? All right, I'm so sorry. Just make sure the people around you don't want to yell at you or have sex with your family. Is this too much to ask? All right, assume everyone is lying to you and figure out why they lie and make sure it's not so they can find a chance to steal from you. Okay? I know a lot of stories. Working as a process server out here, I got a lot of stories. Okay? It's just, life is as crazy as ever, and it's time to protect yourself. Okay, and if I had a producer in here, if I had a guest, they'd ask me for a personal anecdote about a story where people get fucked by trusting someone they ought not to. All right, and I would have given a genuine one right off the top, so to believe me. All right, I would tell you a story about how fucked up people can be, but the true villainy, murderous, stupid thievery there is out there. All right, but I don't have that, so I'm not going to give you one. Okay, how can you believe me? There's no one actively prompting me. Yeah, okay, and hey, man, I know I'm talking about a certain type of person here that gives a bad vibe, all right? And let me just say this. If I give you that vibe, I understand, all right? I'm on it. I'm totally off of it. Be afraid. I am crazy. From my perspective, if you find me uncomfortable, I get it. And if you don't like me, don't invite me. Is that too hard? Just let me know, okay? I am getting invited to a lot of stuff right now, and I don't think they want me there, all right? I don't think they want me there, and I actually need a break, okay? I'm tired. People don't want me to sleep. They want me to hang out with them, but I don't think they're accepting how much danger they're in. I mean, inviting people to places, inviting me to a place thinking I'm not the guy who's going to end up on a roof. What's going on here? You think I'm not that guy? You think I'm not that guy? All right. Are you really? You're saying you trust me not to shoot some stranger to achieve some marginal political end? You fucking really believe that? It's a hard bet. It's a hard bet to think I'm not going to end up on that roof. I'm here talking to myself in my studio apartment. Podcast, late as fuck. You think I'm not crazy? You think I'm not? Inviting me to your party? What are you doing? It is it's a hard bet to tell somebody that me, Kyle Gridley, is not going to end up with a fucking sniper in his hands. If someone makes that bet, I'm going to be honest, I think I'm going to have to call. I think I'm going to have to call the option. I think I'm going to have to, look at the spread and look at the numbers and parlay an option. People out here inviting me to things as if I'm not going to ruin everything for them. What are we doing? Come on. All right. I have my friends, the people who meet me, as I call them, and they tell me they don't like me. All right. They tell me that. And thank God they do. All right. Thank God they take their feelings out on me. They tell me that I'm a total retard freak. Okay. Thank God they do that, because when they do that, I now know their worst thoughts about me. Okay. And it's, let's be serious, a reasonable accusation. Okay. I mean, look, if they tell me they don't like me and they repeat it very often, as they do, no chance that they want to hurt me or kill me, right? I mean, why would they let me know someone who is clearly crazy, clearly insane, that that they don't like me? All right? If you're talking to somebody and their complaints don't make sense, there's some bipolar, schizo, whatever the fuck, all right? I just served, some schizophrenic legal documents just the other day, and she kept repeating to me about how she had to get ready in 10 minutes to go to court. Okay, maybe those people will kill you. But the people that tell you that you're a retard, that you're a fucking moron, and you need to stay away, they're not the ones trying to hurt you, okay? Take it from me. Take it from me as someone who's absolutely crazy. All right, if you're one of the guys who's going to end up on a roof and someone tells you that they don't like you, it's actually a nice thing. It's actually a nice thing. They're actually telling you that they don't want to hurt you. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right. You accuse me of something that is not clearly true. All right. Like I'm a cool, awesome guy. Then I know you're playing at something and my guard is up. Okay. Which brings me to this week's sponsor. And on that note, it brings me to this week's sponsors, Luigi's Bullet Engravers. Bring it up. Yes. Luigi's Bullet Engravers. Are you coming up with a plan that you want to be really hacky about? Do you want to do something that people have already done and kind of wrung out for all the meaning? Visit Luigi's Bullet Engravers. Yep. They can do 45 caliber bullets. They can do any kind of shell casing. All right. Yes, they can be found in any Masonic lodge. All right. Go inside, and they're a crosshairs away between the Israeli embassy and the Turning Point recruiting station. Yep. Hang out in the chat room. Luigi's Bullet Engravers, we're an agency, but we can fit more than 3 letters on that bullet. It's a conspiracy. I mean business. Luigi's Bullet Engravers. Okay, not my best ad read I've ever done, but hey, man, they sponsored the podcast real quick. Good on them. I appreciate it. Which brings us to the big question this week. What is wrong with entrapment? Right? What's wrong with it? Come on. All right. Yes, this week we found out that there were 250-something FBI undercover plainclothes guys on January 6th. Okay, and, big deal. Big deal, mostly because they were not telling us about it for a long time. We all knew, but they weren't telling us, and that's an issue. So I've been scoping out the internet, trying to find some guy who got a good take on it. I can't believe it, but I found this guy. He's got 500K fucking views. Maybe people should pay attention to him. He's obviously very engaging. And, who knows how much longer he has on this earth, right? It's this guy. I'm not going to say anything about him, but I'm sure you could assume my thoughts. Here he is.
Oh my God, the revelations have come down, and y'all, for years, we've been hearing about January the 6th, January the 6th. Anytime the Democrats do something, well, what about January the 6th? And it all was, they were blaming Trump. They were saying how MAGA Republicans were so dangerous and how they stormed the Capitol and did all of this stuff. People were in prison, had their due process ignored, had their rights trampled on, were locked up, some of them for a year without going to trial at all. And listen to what Cash Patel has to say about Ray Epps and about what happened with this man. And then I'm going to follow that up after he gets done with Tucker Carlson had to say, because he did an excellent story on it, and I'll let you hear his clip. But check out what Cash has to say about it.
I think as a former federal prosecutor and a public defender who defended a lot of these types of cases, what you need to show is whether or not the FBI and government agents were using undercover operatives and informants on the day of January 6th, because if you can show that, you know they've been out, hang on, but the paperwork shows having run informants, that's a 6-month buildup, minimum. Right. Minimum. It's not like they just dropped them into the Proud Boys and said, hey, go, don't disrupt, please. So once you prove that, then you defeat the insurrection narrative with the FBI's own documentation. Forget what the videotape shows.
Just for people who you can't see what's going on in the room, the reason why Cash just said hang on or whatever is because I started smirking and rolling my eyes. And what I meant to convey with that is, come on, we know they were involved.
No,
Look, I totally agree.
Though. Yeah.
I'm not saying I know definitively. What I'm saying is a reasonable suspicion is that there were agents. There's a video showing a guy with an earpiece pulling people into the building. All right. Mm-hmm. You combine that with the evidence of Ray Epps, and it looks like you have a preponderance of evidence suggesting there may have been federal law enforcement involved in making that thing happen.
I'll get you beyond a reasonable doubt. Two pieces of information. Ray Epps was on FBI's most wanted list one day, and the next day he was off of the FBI's most wanted list. There are only two ways that happens. You die, or your informant. Put that aside. Under congressional testimony, Jill Sanborn, who I used to work with, the head of the FBI Counterintelligence Division, in charge of all these investigations, testified under oath when Senator Cruz asked her, flat out, were there federal agents involved with January 6th? And she said, quote, Senator, I can't answer that at this time. Not if the answer was definitively no, having been a DOJ FBI guy myself, she would have gone there and said, nope, absolutely not. The reason she said I can't answer that is because of the same stonewalling they gave us during Russiagate with Christopher Steele, Halper, and everybody else. It's the same narrative, and I'm telling you they were there.
Okay, that's a black guy with an article. Watch out. Watch out. He's on it. I mean, you fucking anything that guy plays, I'm right there believing him. What's his name? I don't know. He's got a flag. He's got the big flag. Joe Rogan started the flag, and now even black people are doing it. What's that about? Okay. Yeah, so he has a legit article. It's from Yahoo News. We all believe that those people, right? What do I mean by those people? Stop it. Yeah, articles upon articles upon articles confirming this. You know, there's not many people talking about it for reasons. Not seeing many people in the media. The Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, whatever the fuck, talking about it. Not sure why. Can't explain it. Not putting those dots together. But then you have the written wing of the media putting out this story about how there were a lot of FBI agents. A lot of them. And were they FBI agents? Were they just informants? You know, I mean, we have Cash here explaining the process, reminding us about that one guy, that one time who did that one thing, 2020, GNE 60, talking about how if you're an informant, which maybe you're not an agent, but even if you are an informant, it takes a little bit to, what do they call it? Grow it? Massage it? Create it? You know, there's a specific nice Law and Order word that I'm not hitting right now. That if only I had a producer, a former late night talk show employee, perhaps a furloughed government worker, we could all find that word together. And doesn't Cash seem actually kind of reasonable in this? This video is a little old. Not sure why large black guy played it that way. It's what he found, and, God bless him. I'm sure he's, getting it. He's been interested in this stuff a long time. He's an expert. There are no stereotypes to talk about. He's smart. He's in it. He's on it. He has 450K views on his podcast on YouTube. All right, not as good as Jimmy Kimmel, but it's there. He's rocking it. I think he's more than Kim Iverson. Right on. Yeah. So basically, confirmed all day. I can't. What I wanted to say is, I don't know exactly why there's this big difference between the talking punditry and the written aspect of these big corporate media empires. I don't exactly understand the pull and push between that. I'm sure, if I read more Noam Chomsky, I could get on it. But I don't know who's reading his audiobooks, but they're dry. Okay, whoever's reading the Noam Chomsky audiobooks, please get a little more interesting, get a little more exciting. Talk like me. If I could just read myself these books, maybe I'd understand that difference more. But it's confirmed. We all knew it was true. Let's not worry about how we got there. Just know a black guy knows about it, and that should be enough for everybody. I am in a lot of trouble. Okay, I'm racist. Here we're going. Keep rocking it. I respect him, and I treat him without his skin color. Is that racist? I'm so confused. The government shut down. The DEI laws, are those even at play anymore? Okay, who's this for? Who's this comedy for? Okay, talking about it. Here it is. On it. Right now. Okay, about to say it. I'm about to say it. Did you change the channel yet? You probably did. Probably did a long time ago. You're probably not even here. Here it is. I have all this written down, by the way, in a teleprompter in front of my face. Right on. Stopping crime. All right. We all want to stop crime. You could say that there were crimes to commit on January 6th, that maybe people were encouraged to commit specific crimes. It's a hard thing to figure out, okay? But here, in America, we have this justice system where people kind of only get punished if a specific line is crossed, right? Like someone could be, about to do something terrible, a specific thing that is terrible, and there's a lot of behavior that's associated with that activity or event, but they're not exactly punishable crimes. Does this make sense? Like, for example, okay, you're a guy in front of a 7-Eleven and you're on drugs and you're a maniac and you're listening to Rose-Colored Classist, episode 62, and you're flailing. You're doing a lot of flailing. Okay, you really haven't committed a crime there. But when I look at your behavior, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there, okay? And in America, when it comes to the courts, when it comes to the police, we need things that are specifically done for them to get paid, for them to justify their budgets, right? Specific crimes, arbitrary lines that people decided. They call them laws. They have to be intentionally crossed, and it's at a specific point. It's not like all crime is one fucking wall of morality. It's a little, uppy downy, all aroundy. It's arbitrary. And you're here at the Capitol. You're a cop. You're an FBI agent getting paid a bunch of money, taxpayer fucking money. You want a purpose. You want a purpose. And as a law enforcement officer, you see how the whole system works, that, these people's behaviors, they go down a line and, things are typically predictable, especially when you look at something like domestic violence. It's, a certain thing happens and it may be in the legalese of it, it's not that terrible. You don't get automatically punished. You don't get taken away for a long time. But, someone were to do that thing and eventually they do the worst thing. And you're a cop and you see that. I mean, come on, you feeling a little like it's all bullshit, right? You feeling like this is fucking stupid a little bit. I mean, what? Come on, someone to behave criminally, they have to cross a fucking arbitrary line. Some, nerds with ties figured out. I mean, some arbitrary legal boundary. What this person needs to do is not cross some imaginary, fictional, thinky idea activity. What the way they need to do is shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here right now. I'm a cop. What do cops care about what's, specifically wrong at a specific time? I mean, you're trying to avoid the worst things. Yes, we all know murder is wrong. Fucking armed robbery is wrong. You don't want them to happen. And as a cop, you're like, I'm supposed to stop these things, right? So in comes entrapment. In comes the idea of entrapment, okay? I mean, you have these people, and you look at them, and you know that they're not going to commit a crime immediately, but you can kind of see it coming. Okay? You're here on January 6th. You're looking at all the fucking objects. You see Nancy Pelosi's desk. I mean, it looks like it needs a shit on top of it. It looks like it needs someone to shit on top of it. And shitting on top of Nancy Pelosi's desk is an arbitrary, specific line that gets crossed, that becomes illegal or punishable. But maybe all that behavior leading up to that, maybe that was something you should have been paying attention to. Maybe you should have not let him get there. Maybe. A lot of specific things to talk about at that event. But, I mean, come on, what the heck? Look, you shit on someone's desk, anybody, you're a fucking shit loser scumbag. I remember that guy. I mean, you wear anywhere a buffalo outfit, go to jail. Get out of here. I don't care where you are. The Capitol, my house, the street. If you're dressed up like a buffalo, remember that guy? He's actually a nice guy. He's put out a lot of content. The Buffalo guy from January 6th, he is prolific, actually. Way better content than what I got. I'll say that. And so, again, back to being a police officer and, wanting to get paid and wanting people to go to jail and get the fuck away and, change their life. Maybe never wear the buffalo outfit again. I think jail did correct that guy. You go to jail for a few months, few years. All those times you wore a fucking buffalo skin may seem a little silly. And you're a guy and you want to, you have your pension that, is financialized, that you don't understand, and you have all your dreams of being a kid and wanting to be a cop and wanting to keep doing it. And so, look, you're just, help them into the window. Help them up. Get up. Come on. Just do something already so I can feed my family. I'm a cop. Do something wrong already so I can go home. Entrapment. Are we arguing against it? Are you not allowed to do that? I get it. I think it's, more than understandable. You push them across the line. You goad them. Hit me. I'm a cop. Hit me. I'm sorry. I am okay with a little bit of entrapment. I love the movie Minority Report. I thought Tom Cruise was really overreacting. I should have just gone to jail. I mean, come on. That movie's a lot simpler that way. Yeah. Tom Cruise gets arrested and he goes, you know what? Maybe I was going to do it. Entrapment. What's wrong with it? Come on. You're waiting until all the crime already happens. You're waiting until it already happens. It's too late. When it happens, it's too late. And now you look like a dummy. Okay? Maybe just fucking help them up. Open the gate. There's 250 of us. Okay? There were millions and millions of people on January 6th. There were millions of them. Donald Trump told me there were millions of people there. 250 undercover FBI guys? Maybe it's not even enough. There should have been more. More gates open. More windows cracked. Who brought in the ladders? Who made the gallows? Yeah, maybe these FBI agents, they're really trying to get paid. Oh, maybe if we make the gallows, they'll actually commit murder. You think they'll do it? I mean, what if we just build it for them? I mean, come on. Not all these guys know carpentry. We're, even teaching some guys some skills. There's like a kid there. Go, all right, you take the screws and you hammer it. It's crazy. Yeah. The FBI informants, I guess I've always said this. And, at any political anything, any kind of big rally, big protest, if it involves the government's involved. Supposedly, I hear this sometimes, that the United States government is the biggest entity in history. Anyone hear that? It's the biggest company, the most employees, the most money ever in the history of ever. The largest organization ever created is the United States government. And yeah, they're probably doing anything. They're probably doing everything. There's probably a lot of them. There's probably, 250 small section. They tell us there's, how many FBI agents. There's probably more. The guys who retired, they can come back. The fucking, I'm sure a lot of them are even furloughed right now, right? Yeah. Right on. Okay, going on with a little more on the entrapment story. And we have a little incident happening with Tom Hommen with the bag. Everybody out there trying to get the bag. Tom Hommen got caught taking the bag, a kava bag. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Who watches this podcast? What's your thing? What do you consume? Tell me in the comments. Email rose-colored classist. Tell me how you get your marginal news, whether it's from a black guy playing Tim Pool or, whoever. Just tell me what's going on so I can watch it too and get on the same page with you. Because I'm watching news clips about Tom Hommen taking the bag from undercover FBI agents, right? I mean, again, here it is. We're all worried. We're all worried about, the government being corrupt and them doing the wrong thing for the wrong reasons. Okay, and, if they do it and they get away with it, it's the damage is done. So you have these undercover FBI agents giving them fake money. Maybe it's not even fake money. Maybe they're like secretly laundering money in some kind of insane FBI scheme that I couldn't even wrap my head around. But let's back up. They test these guys. They push them. Find out about them. It's like when you ask your girlfriend a question, what's the biggest dick you ever had? She goes, a lot. And then you go, thank God I asked, right? It's like that with the bag and the money and the government. Tom Hommen, the border czar, had he's talking about it a little bit. First, though, let me play Breaking Points, my favorite news program. How about you just don't watch your stuff? Watch Breaking Points. How about that? Abandon all your news consumption and switch to Breaking Points. Subscribe to them. This is the kind of marketing that helps. This is the kind of call to action people who have watched Mad Men try and use. Okay, here it is. Please take it away. Tell us what Mr. Hommen did. What a fun name.
It strikes to the heart of bribery laws in this country and how basically bribery is legal after the Supreme Court ruled in 2024. Let's go and put this up here on the screen. You had a new report from NBC News. They say Tom Hommen was investigated for accepting $50,000 from undercover FBI agents. Trump's DOJ shut it down. The FBI justice officials closed the investigation, calling it a deep state probe in early 2025. The details are as such. Quote, in an undercover operation last year, the FBI recorded Tom Hommen, now the White House border czar, accepting $50,000 in cash after indicating he could, quote, help the agents who were posing as business executives win government contracts in a second Trump administration. FBI and Justice Department plan to wait to see whether Hommen would deliver on his alleged promise once he became the nation's top immigration official, but the case indefinitely stalled after Trump became president in January. In recent weeks, Trump appointees have officially closed the investigation. It's unclear what reasons FBI and DOJ gave for shutting down, but a Trump Justice Department appointee called the case a, quote, deep state probe. The investigation was launched in West Texas in the summer of 2024 after a separate investigation claimed that Hommen was soliciting payments in exchange for awarding contracts for Trump should he win the presidential election. The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of Texas, working with the FBI, asked the DOJ to join its ongoing probe into the border czar and the former border czar and the former acting director of immigration and ICE, Tom Hommen, based on the evidence of payment from the FBI undercover agents. What they said is that Hommen, who was served as the acting director of ICE early in Trump's first term, was openly claimed during the 2024 campaign he would play a prominent role. Thus, during the investigation, they allegedly, on September 20th, with hidden cameras recording the scene at a meeting spot in Texas, caught him accepting some $50,000 in bills, according to this internal summary. They then took the matter no further further in the final months of 2024. Now, one of the reasons why I think that is important is that it was obviously in September in the lead up to the presidential election, but that the quid pro quo, if you will, had to be proven because of the way that the bribery laws are written. Simply accepting cash does not in and of itself mean that it's bribery, because you actually have to deliver.
Okay, yeah, Breaking Point, super interesting news program, right? That was not their best showing. I don't know who's producing that. Maybe they got to replace him with one of the furloughed government employees. But yeah, they should have been scrolling on the article, been at least doing as much as that black guy was doing, right? Okay, here it is. Yeah, government official taking the bag, taking the money. Yeah, they had reasons. The government doing an investigation, but if they're investigating themselves, I mean, look, yes, let's not, mix words. Of course he did it. Who wouldn't do it? Who wouldn't do it? Who would? Look, man, life, it's so crazy. You know, what kind of morals are left to stand on? Someone offers you money, gotta take it. Gotta take it. And you know, is it a crime to accept money? I thought that's what we're doing in this country. You want us to accept the money. Okay, yes, he did it. But also, yes, it was a setup. They're all criminals. This is the way they do it. This is the way they do it. And, you know, we talk about the quid pro quo and what's going on. I mean, look, the laws in this country are set up in the most insane ways. Okay, look, him taking the money. It's not a crime. It's not a crime to take the money. All right? It's not. You want it to be, it's not. Okay, for some other reason, we've set up a different, specific circumstance. The Supreme Court decided something about it. And, just a certain things have to happen for it to be illegal. It's hard to write laws, man. It's hard, dude. What's fair? What's not? I mean, what? We're not going to let people take $50,000 cash? Yeah, tell them anything. Just as long as you don't do anything, just get the money. What's wrong with that? Give people the latitude. How do you really want things to get done? All right, in America, around the world. You want it to happen without bribery? That's like an attack on human nature. It's like you don't even get people. It's like you want people not to be bribed? Come on, dude. No one will ever do anything. Okay? And yeah, he's getting paid money to some business execs to the border to do things when his borders are. Did he ever do them? We don't know the things he wanted to do. It's fine. And I don't know. It's like when these things happen, when the businesses are doing things with the government, and we just had a little spat about that, last week. Okay, let me just say, what are the businesses that America and the government are even into when it even comes to the border? All right, human trafficking, drugs, arms dealings, the worst things on earth. You would think the government is trying to stop them, but we just had that little entrapment talk, okay? And to stop them, you have to get inside of them, become an informant, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're the ones doing it. This is the story of the FBI. Okay, yes, when these people, they're going to do crimes. They're going to do them. So you help them do them. So you can catch them for it. But and the fact that you did them is not part of the equation. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. Government's all a big rake. It's the big money. People doing something. I don't know. I feel like I'm paying protection money most of the time. I pay my taxes. I don't know what it's doing, but as long as it keeps me alive. Okay. And then, when it comes to how you react to, being legalized or being entrapped, this guy, Tom Hommen, I mean, he's a savant. I'm going to play this clip of him, and the way he operates is commendable. It's appreciated. If only, he could teach classes on this, because he knows that this guy, he's inside the government. He knows the deal. Let him talk.
Fox News, here's what he had to say.
I want to give you a chance to address this article that came out over the weekend, and it was on our always reliable MSNBC, and they said that You took $50,000 in cash in a bag from an undercover FBI agent to help them win government contracts in Trump's second term. The DOJ said they concluded there was no criminal wrongdoing, but nevertheless, that story is out there, and I imagine you want to respond to that.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I did nothing criminal. I did nothing illegal. And there's hit piece after hit piece after hit piece. And I'm glad the FBI and DOJ came out and said, said that nothing illegal happened and nothing, no criminal activity. You're talking about a guy who spent 34 years enforcing the law. I mean, I left a very successful business that I ran to come back and work for a government again. I'm back on a government paycheck. Not only did I sacrifice my family sacrifices, I make sacrifices every day. I got more death threats than anybody. I got a security team around me, but guess what? My kids don't. My wife don't. I mean, I haven't lived with my wife in months because I don't want her to be here right now with all the threats. So after all the sacrifices, after serving my nation for all these years, they want to come out and dirty me up. And it's not going to end. There's a hit piece on me every 2 weeks. But keep coming, because you know what? Tom Hommen isn't going anywhere. Tom Hommen isn't shutting up. And Tom Hommen's going to keep doing what he's doing, because working with President Trump's the greatest honor of my life. We're making this country safer again every day, and we're going to keep doing it.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Kind of a denial there, because what he didn't say is I never took the money. What he said is I did nothing criminal, I did nothing illegal, which, I mean, technically true, right?
So far.
Tom Hommen don't stop at nobody. Tom Hommen here. Tom Hommen knows it. Tom Hommen know he didn't do nothing wrong. Tom Hommen, he the man. Tom Hommen kind of is like the white version of that black guy we played a little bit, right? There's a little mirror going on. Right, let's not talk about it too much. I mean, this guy, evasive, genius. Look, he's part of the whole group of people who set up the laws in the first place, okay? Whether you decide that, they're fair or not, they operate a certain way, they do a certain thing, and start playing the real game, okay? Because sure, we have all these ideas behind, what it means to be educated in America and what it means to invest and the rules of capitalism and honor and competition. And you have an idea of what it really means to govern. But look, at the end of the day, we're just more and more realizing that, the arbitrary line of what's right and wrong is sparsely enforceable. And if you knew about it, maybe you would act a lot different. Okay, yes, I mean, we have things like the fucking stock prices, and you look at it, and that's, what it really means to be rich and wealthy and successful in this country. And, whether the facts are the facts, whether the truth is a ruse, I mean, it seems to me like the money doesn't care, all right? It's always a perfect example of what it means to run a slick business. And it's just knowing that people are waiting for you to do a specific thing, and they're pushing you to do the specific thing. And it might be right, it might be wrong, might throw you in jail, might make you rich, might make you $50,000 richer. And, when you look at those big choices in life where it's obviously, one or the other, it really gets you in touch with what it means to be human in the first place. Really gets you in touch with what it means to be part of a society and group of people, okay? Because we've all decided what's right and wrong, and yeah, there's people trying us to make us do it. People pushing us to do it. And I wonder what that's about. Last clip, running out the pod. Can't imagine that this is one of my best ones. I've been talking. How did the edit go? That's really what I look at when I decide if this is a worthwhile endeavor. Playing a last clip. This guy was on Joe Rogan recently, and he's when I talk about what it means to be this person in this weird world, I keep focusing on fucking aliens. All right, the practically omnipotent, interdimensional, ancient alien space gods. The point asks the points. Okay. We're working on the name. Can't get it all out at once. It's a big concept. But yeah, all the rules, what it means to be a human being. I keep going back to this big concept. The government knows about it. I grew up religious. There's ancient words and wisdom, and it's, maybe we're in the same system we've always been. But this guy comes on the JRE, and they go fucking old school, get really wild and weird. It's some guy and this bald fuck, and they talk about it. Here it is. Watch it.
There are legitimately, actually, fully evil people in the world, and I think there's a lot of evidence that those people have existed historically.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about some of the atrocities that people have done throughout history. The obvious
today.
one is Hitler. But I mean, you could go through history. You could Genghis Khan. I mean, you could. There's so many people that have done unbelievably evil things in this world.
When that happens, and it's happening today. I mean, it's happening today.
Right now.
You don't have
Yeah.
to look at history.
Look at Gaza.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
To do what is happening there, when it comes human to human, the only way that one human can perpetrate that onto another is to sever the relationship to their divinity. All right, and we have the choice to do that. We can deny our divinity. We can have it taken from us by those who have power over us, or technology can deny our divinity. But someone who, and that is closely linked to the soul, which is not the spirit. So the soul is our localized, lifetime experience. When we sever that relationship, that is what allows an individual to carry out those kinds of atrocities, because an individual who is connected to their divinity and their soul could never look at another human in the eye and hurt them the way that we know that it has happened in our lives, and it's happened throughout history. So my focus, what I'm really passionate about, and it's not just like any old time in history. We're on the precipice, Joe. I mean, the decisions are being made within the next couple of years as to whether or not we will give our humanness away to technology, or if we'll allow the technology to serve us but not enslave us. AI is an example of that. The brain-computer interfaces that are going on, BCI, that's a big conversation going on right now. And if we get lost in the weeds of just AI or just the BCI, it's easy to do that. But I think it's important to there's a bigger picture. There's a struggle. There's an ancient struggle going on here. And it is because, and this is what's so powerful, it's because there's something inside of us that's worth the struggle. And our children are not being taught that. Our young kids are being told that they're a flawed form of life. They need something outside of our bodies. We need to protect our kids.
What do you think that thing is? Do you think that's what the soul is?
I think it's our divinity is the ability to express, and this is going back to the Gnostic texts. This is why they were heretical. Because the Gnostic texts said that we have a hotline to a higher realm, that we don't have to go through an intermediary, that we are imbued with this spark, or whatever language you want to use, given to no other form of life, and that when we awaken that we become God-like. Not God, but God-like. And this was the message of Yeshua in the Gnostic texts. And that's the message that was denied and called heretical. Because if we are that, then we don't need an intermediary.
Feel the power of your divinity. You have supreme access within you. Get on it. Feel it. Do you feel it yet? You feel connected to some kind of interdimensional divinity yet? All right. Yeah, man. I'm talking about a lot of weird stuff, right? This I'm still going to try and make a point with what I'm saying about entrapment. What it means about the human soul. We have the rules we've set up in our society. But this idea that our, decisions are going somewhere, right? That you can see a certain type of behavior and it's predictable, and you can, suppose and make a bet on what their chances of doing something are. And then we have this religious idea, right? Free will and being open to change and turning your life around, and he's talking about it in a different way, right? Again, I grew up in a fucking Christian environment. That's why I'm so weird. That's why I'm so smart. That's why I'm in touch. I'm on the topics that matter so much. Yeah, it's all God. I'm nothing. Yeah, don't you love it when people say that? They just go, "Oh, God, God's the only reason I do anything. God's the only reason I'm here. I'm nothing. Isn't that so perfect?" But I'm trying to say something else. It just, that idea matters, and it's a contrary to what I'm trying to push out, which is why this is so difficult for me, because I'm having trouble accepting it myself, right? You talk about there's an existence of divinity, right? And it is religious in context, but this whole podcast with that guy, look at his face, figure out who he is. You know it. Just look at the thing and match the face if you want to see what he really says. 3 hours on JRE. I'm trying to understand that in in a sort of realistic way, accepting and placing these classic ideas into the modern context where we talk about different dimensions and mathematical probabilities. Like, we have this dimension, the 3D dimension we are here in right now, and in the math doesn't make sense, so you do more math and you see that there's multiple dimensions, and to us maybe you think that's a different place, but maybe technically it also exists right where we are inside of the universe. Maybe there are other universes, sure, and that's possible, but when we're talking about what's happening with us right and now, these divine entities, these demonic, they're right here, actually. They're here, but they're in the, in the box. We're in the box. We're in the box. There's the box, and it's cast a shadow. Carl Sagan talked about it one time. And it's here, but we're not there. You know what I mean? And you say something like a higher consciousness, I guess when you take the word consciousness, maybe we got to somehow think of that word and add a dimension to it, or put it in a dimension, or think to ourselves a consciousness can be at multiple dimensions at one time. Right? I'm trying to explain it. Like time and space. Time and space is not what you see here. It goes on. It goes on and on and on. And we're able to be there too, but in spirit and in feeling. And again, when I say spirit, this guy mentions soul, we're talking about a part of us that maybe is just as real as our physical brains and our hands and toes and all that, your cock and all that. The things that matter so much. And they can go there. And what else is there are these, gods. These practically omnipotent, interdimensional, ancient, alien space gods. All right? Now, I'm on it. I'm clearly fucking off of it. But these are the questions we really need to answer before we decide whether taking $50,000 from an undercover FBI agent, what specific morality we think about that. I feel like we have to answer this question, understand this part first, and then we look at what actually happens in the real world that our lives take place in, that we're all supposed to do the right thing and other people do the wrong thing. We have to understand this part first. So, and maybe this is the allegory, or this is the perfect. This is the example that maybe you could help me understand. I'm trying to help us understand. I'm trying to talk through it myself, and it's fucking difficult. But something we can look at that may illustrate what I'm saying here is like, computers, technology. The guy he looks like James Gunn. He's talking about technology, and we're making the decision, right? We look at the computer, and it's there. It's right there, but it's fucking 2D, right? It all exists in 2D, and you can see in 2D it can have 3D, but it's still, it's in the box. It's in the box. Like, we're in the box to these other things. Like, we look at technology, and that is the lower dimension. You know what I mean? And maybe that's why technology is such a fucked up thing. Why, this Alex Jones clip I played last week and a half ago, talking about what the worst things happen in the lower dimension, and I look at my phone, I look at the computer, and I go, that is literally a lower dimension taking place in the same way that these other higher beings could be. And that helps me understand it. What it fucking means, though, is beyond. I'm out of there. I mean, I need a lot of help. I need a lot of help talking about this. I know I'm talking about something crazy. I don't know if people are talking about it how I am. I mean, these guys, this bald guy and James Gunn, if he was a midget, they're talking about it, and they're the most popular show on planet Earth, so maybe it's fine. I don't know. And something that always bothers me too, the Black Mirror portion of the phone, right? You look at it at a camera, it looks ominous, doesn't it? What are we supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to merge with this? This is kind of horrifying. It's pretty scary. I'm supposed to be a computer. I've looked through a microscope. You look down at the chip, and it's fucked. It's weird in there. It looks uncomfortable. Looks if I had one in my head, it would hurt. Mark of the Beast. What's going on? This guy, he talks more. I'm so interested in this. I'm struggling to come up with any conclusions. Obviously, these are the questions that humanity's been debating, for all of modernity. If that word is correct. And the government knows about it, and they may have the truth of whatever I'm pondering, and maybe they've also been hiding it for modernity? Modernity. What is that word? Why am I thinking of that word? Modernity? Does that have something to do with being a mom? I'm lost. What is the English language? Let's have Joe Rogan tell us.
So I think what we're looking at right now is do we love ourselves enough? Do we love ourselves enough to accept the gift of our humanness and what it means to be human and what it means to be divine and not bring religion into the conversation? But maybe just find another word if people aren't comfortable with that word. But I really want people to know, and especially, I do live events with these young kids, Joe, and they've been taught to worship technology. The computer chip is God. AI is God. And then I show them, and I've showed some studies. Salk Institute in Northern California did a study, and they compared a human brain to a microprocessor. And you say, well, how can you make that comparison? I said that. The microprocessor has about the same number of transistors that the human brain has of synapses in the brain. Interestingly, it's about the same number. And so they ran all these tests, and what they found, literally, the human brain, okay, the computer chip, is it fast? Yes. Is it efficient? Yes. Is it scalable? You can only scale the chip. It'll only run as fast as the physics that of the stuff it's made of will allow, the silicon or whatever it is, and then it tops out. The human brain, is it fast? Yes. Is it efficient? Yes. Is it scalable? What is the top end of a human brain? And the answer is we don't know. Because every time we push a human brain to what we think is the limit that we've been taught to accept, this is the beauty of our divinity. What we do is we morph and adapt and open up a whole new vista.
Watch your favorite James Gunn movie at the Vista. Why do they look the same? Something's going on. It's a simulation. Right on. Do we understand what we're talking about? The real implications. we exist in the physics, we exist in the 3D, but for some reason there's a part of us in our heads, in our hearts, that goes beyond it, goes past it. And it's proven. And, look within yourself. You hear all these stories of, people doing magnificent things, unrealistic things. And, it's there's a lot of power in being a human being, man. I'm telling you. And if only we could tap into it. We're out here thinking the computers are going to make us stronger. And maybe. What's going to be the option, right? Sometimes it feels, like you're not in that conversation, that there's obviously more powerful people with billions of dollars and they take bags of money and they try and, get people to do bad things or right things, and who knows, and you're not a part of it. You're just here in your little life and you're given these things and you're supposed to do your best. And you don't feel like this is big fucking battle, this giant insane concept has anything to do with you. And the fact is that you can make choices yourself, and whether you decide what to do when it comes to technology and computers and your own meditation practices and what you try to connect with, your battle is taking place on a different plane. Yeah, man, we're all in a wild multiplayer MMORPG, baby. We're all in a big fucking world. It's World of Warcraft out there in our heads and our minds and our hearts. And put a little bit of time in, you might help the raid. Yeah, who do the computers serve? Who do they serve? I look at my fucking computer, I look at my phone, and I don't know if it's doing anything for me, all right? It's interesting, it's complicated. I don't know when the moment will be, when that big decision comes, whether I'll, have tried to access my divinity. I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of life to live. Whether I'll find the time to look inwardly and reach, get on a higher plane, get some assistance maybe. That is a interesting concept. We all have a lot to do. Okay? And people are also working to get you to do it. Remember that. All right. End of the pod. We did it. Everything was super well tied together. Dude, this is it. I'm so good at it. Can you believe how hard I work to accomplish this? Weak, whack. Turn it off. Get the fuck out of here, man. This is embarrassing. You listen to this whole thing again, dude. What's up with you, man? Come on. What are you even thinking about right now? Write it down. Write it down. Are you dreaming? You fall asleep to this, you maniac? Right? Yeah. Dream about me and fucking tell a Jungian psychologist how it went. Yeah, so liking, subscribing, all that. What's this technology even doing? This is another reason I'm never going to be successful. I'm putting out all this stuff on these platforms, and I don't even know if they should fucking exist. I don't know if they're trying to destroy me. I have a 3D concept of what this is going to accomplish for my life, and I'm operating on it, but my fucking higher plane, I'm going to a bigger, better place, and I don't know if this is going to help me get there. Yeah, I arrive at the pearly gates. Religion is real, and I arrived at the pearly gates, and I spent about 10 hours a week for 10 years podcasting. Was that good? Should I have done that, Jesus? Hey, God, Jesus, Peter, should I have spent that time? No idea what their response would be. Yes, how do you justify your life when you to the divine gods when you spend it all podcasting? Who knows? Right on. Yeah, comedy all around. Follow my page. Fucking fuck, dude. Get with it. I'm gonna get up on stage, taping a Netflix special, and say I'm gonna kill myself. Won't that be fun? Get a little news cycle going. Theo Von, you okay, bud? I don't think you're tapped in with your divinity. Tapped into your divinity. Come on. Do you think Theo Von even watches Joe Rogan anymore? We all gotta watch Joe Rogan. We all gotta do it. Follow him. He's tapped in. What plane is he at? What plane is he on? I'm gonna find him. Get on a roof. Look at him from a distance. Kidding. Joking. No one do that. No one ever kill anybody ever again. All right? Promise? Promise. It's the holiday season. We're gonna get it. I'm hungry. Bye-bye. No, I'm not done yet. I lied. You really got to support this podcast, man. Am I going to put my Venmo out here? Am I really going to do it? You don't want my Venmo, right? What kind of insult is that? What would I even do? The only way I would do it is if I, put a counter out there and, said I'm going to buy something specific for the podcast. All right, because that's the only way. I mean, you should only support this if I make this better, because it has to get a lot better. A lot better. We're phasing. I'm gonna tap into the divinity and see what I can do with this pod. All right, get my consciousness a little bit higher. Where's my weed? Okay, drugs, pharmacology. Not into it. Please, yeah. I posted this on Spotify. What are all the things I should say for Spotify? ChatGPT, AI, tell me. How long has this even been? I'm having too much fun. I'm by myself. Get out of here. Go. Leave. You should have left a long time ago. Did I, though? Did I leave? Am I filling time right now? I am doing well personally now that this podcast is on Spotify, because I feel like I'm way funnier if you don't see my face. Right? It's called Rose-Colored Classist, but I think that works just as a title too. You don't have to actually see me in the red glasses. When you actually see me in the glasses, you kind of, it's a little hacky. It's a little pathetic. Someone an FBI agent should entrap me and get me to stop doing this podcast. If I could get paid $50,000 to stop doing this podcast, that'd be great. Okay. Now it's done. Now it is. Leave. I just want to be alone. I just want to be alone with my thoughts. And when I say my thoughts, I mean the practically omnipotent, interdimensional, ancient alien space gods. That's what they are. It's the only thing that matters. I'm possessed.